So you're moving from tropical diving to cold water diving. The biggest hesitation with this kind of change is really keeping warm. But how do you do it in cold water? Yes, you're wearing a dry suit and you have an undergarment, but what if that's not enough? Let me show you some ways I like to keep warm underwater. First up, we're going to talk about the hood. A hood is something, of course, that you put over your head, like you guessed it, a hood. This one is the one I use every time I dive. Is it that white aqualung known to nowadays? It is a 5/7 hood, meaning it's a mix between a 5mm and a 7mm neoprene hood. So when I go dry suit diving, the only part that really gets wet is that whole face area, and the one that's really only exposed now, if I of course use this, would be the areas that are not underneath my mask and just kind of that little facial areas that are not covered by the rig. Up next, we have hands. So two options using dry suits. We can go with traditional kind of wet gloves. These are just kind of gloves that, easy put on and simple Velcro. If you look closely, these gloves here have that nice Kevlar extra grip just to really grab onto things if you need to underwater. The second option is using dry gloves. Water dry gloves. Basically, they are just these marigold gloves that you can buy. I won't really suggest buying kind of like kitchen gloves for this. I see some people doing it. The reason why I hesitate is just I find that the fabric is a little bit thinner and that could cause some rips, and you really don't want to have that underwater. Underneath these gloves, I personally wear wool gloves. Wool gloves here, really great to keep heat. And you know what? They're so good that, if your gloves does flood, it retains heat so much that you won't even probably notice. So what you do is wear this, and then you would wear that underneath. My suggestion, if you are using the dry glove system, is to maybe go a size, maybe 2 sizes up, depending on how thick your gloves are underneath and how many gloves you're using. Last but not the least, of course, we have socks for our feet. Again, different options. You can get neoprene booties, pretty straightforward, right? Neoprene socks, you've seen this. Another option as well is, again, going back to the wool socks. Really great. I dive with my wool socks every single time. It doesn't matter if it's winter, spring, fall, summer, I don't care. I'm still cold all the time. So I will definitely need these guys. In addition to this, as mentioned, I said I get very, very cold. So I also have these white booties over here. It goes inside my dry suit. This does not get wet. And it's fleece. It's fleece on the inside, as you can see right there, keeping it nice, warm, and toasty for me. Note though, the more things you put underneath your dry suit, especially kind of thicker items like this, any neoprene stuff, you might need to change your weighting. Just keep that in mind. Might be something that'll affect you, might be something not. So these are the tips I have for keeping yourself warm underwater. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. See you next time.